Hi everyone, welcome to Little Diamond Yoga Stories with me, Megan. A Little Diamond Yoga Stories is all about learning a new story and doing some yoga poses as we go along. So copy the moves that I do and try to have some fun. Okay, let's start off our yoga as we always do, by crossing our legs and sitting on our bottoms, bringing our hands to our heart. And after 3 we'll say our yoga hello, Namaste. 1, 2, 3. Namaste. Well done. Today's story is all about St Andrew. Now, St Andrew is the patron saint of Scotland. So let's go into a patron saint pose. Standing with our feet slightly apart and bringing our hands to our heart. Fantastic. And today we are going to be learning all about St Andrew, rubbing your head to show where all that information is going to go. We're going to be learning why he was such an important man and why he still is now. Now our story starts hundreds and hundreds of years ago. So come and sit on your bottoms with your legs crossed, taking your arms out wide, and to go a long, long time ago we're going to tick, tock, like a clock. Tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock. Fantastic. Now one day, Andrew was fishing at Lake Galilee with his brother Simon Peter. Let's do some fishing. Come to sitting with your knees bent to your feet and up in front of you. And then taking out one leg, keeping one leg bent and straightening out your other leg like a long fishing rod. Fantastic. Now let's pop that fishing rod down and fish with the other one. Well done. Good job. Suddenly, Jesus appeared to Andrew and his brother Simon Peter. And then sit on your bottoms, your legs crossed. And he called to them, cupping your hands around your mouth. And take a big breath in through our nose. And then as we blow out, we're going to open up our arms as he calls out to them. Jesus calls, "Come with me and I will have you fish for people." Andrew, let's go back into our patron saint pose, standing with our legs slightly apart, bringing those hands to our heart. After hearing what Jesus has to say, Andrew immediately puts down his things, letting your arms fall down, and then we're going to bend forwards, all the way down to try and touch our toes, bending your knees if you need to, as Andrew places all his things on the floor. And then he follows Jesus. Let's take some big steps. Let's take 6 big steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fantastic. Andrew became one of Jesus' disciples. Over time, Andrew watched as Jesus performed many miracles, taking out your super spectacles to look around. Andrew watched these miracles being performed, watching in awe and amazement. One of these miracles is known as the feeding of the 5,000. Jesus and his disciples were surrounded by starving people. Come and sit on your bottoms, your legs crossed, and patting over your tummy to show those empty stomachs of those starving people. Fantastic. Andrew took a look around, taking one hand and pop it on your opposite knee, and then sitting up and look over one of your shoulders as he looks one way. And then coming back to the front, taking your other hand on your opposite knee, and again twisting to look over the other shoulder this time. As he looks, Andrew notices a boy walking with a basket, and in that basket he can see a long loaf of bread sticking out. Andrew ran over to the boy, standing up and run. When he got there, he asked to look inside the basket. Come to sitting back on your bottoms, and this time take the bottoms of your feet together so the bottoms are touching and bending forward. The boy opened the basket, sitting up to show him opening it. Andrew looked inside, taking your legs out wide and bending forward as he looks inside the basket. Andrew saw 5 loaves and 2 fish. Let's go into a fish pose. Coming to lie on your backs, but holding yourselves up on your forearms so your arms are bent at the elbow. Then point your toes and then curling your chest up and looking your head. Trying to make your head look behind you if you can. If not, you can just look up at the ceiling. So Andrew finds 5 loaves and 2 fish inside the basket. He takes the basket and carries it to Jesus, going to standing with your feet together. Andrew knows that 5 loaves and 2 fish is not going to feed 5,000 people, but at least it's a start. Jesus says thank you, bringing your hands to your heart and bending forward as Jesus says thank you. And then, taking your legs wide, Jesus takes the 5 loaves and 2 fish and starts breaking pieces off, taking your arms out wide. And as he breaks pieces off, starts spinning, he gives these pieces of food out to the starving people. And Jesus keeps on breaking more and more food after until all 5,000 people have been fed. What a miracle! When Jesus died, Andrew was very, very sad. Come to sitting on your bottoms and hugging your knees. Although he was sad, Andrew made a decision. He travelled by boat. Let's go into a boat pose. Sitting on our bottoms with our legs bent in front of us and taking our hands either side of our bottom. Then we lift up one foot and the other foot, one arm and the other arm into our boat pose. Andrew travelled by boat to Poland, Russia and Greece. Coming onto your bottoms and take your feet together so the bottoms of your feet are touching. In these places, Andrew told stories of Jesus, sitting up and turning the pages of your story to show him telling his stories of Jesus. All those stories of miracles, awe and amazement. Unfortunately, some people did not like Andrew telling these stories. Put your fingers together and place that over your mouth. Well done. Because of this, Andrew was killed. Come to lying on your backs. Your legs out, open arms by your sides. Andrew was killed by these people who did not like him telling these stories. Andrew was going to be killed. He decided he did not deserve to be killed on a cross the shape of Jesus's. Coming to stand with your feet together and taking your arms out wide to show that cross. Andrew didn't think he was important enough to die on a cross this shape. So instead, he chose to die on an X-shaped cross. Taking your legs wide, keeping your arms wide, but lift them slightly in the air into an X shape. Fantastic. Many, many years later, let's go back into that clock. Sitting on our bottoms, our legs crossed, taking the arms out wide, and tick, tock, like a clock. Tick, tock. Many, many years later, a monk called Regulus was watching over St. Andrew's bones. Come to sitting on your knees and taking out those super spectacles. All of a sudden, an angel appeared. As we breathe in, we're going to sit up and lift up our angel wings. As we breathe out, we're going to come down, bringing our wings back down. Again, in, out, in, out, in, out. The angel told Regulus to take St Andrew's bones to the far west. Regulus travelled by boat. Let's go back into that boat pose. Can we sit on our bottoms with our legs bent in front of us and our hands either side of our bottom? Bringing up one foot and the other, one hand and the other into our boat pose. The journey was long and dangerous. And Regulus's boat ended up getting shipwrecked. When you sit on your bottoms, your legs crossed. The boat was shipwrecked on the far east coast of Scotland, at a place now known as St Andrews. Regulus dug a hole, coming onto your knees, sitting up. Taking one foot out in front of you so your leg is bent in front of you. And then taking your hands together and reaching them forward, holding our spade. And we're going to bend forward to dig, rocking back and forth to dig a hole. Where Regulus placed St Andrew's bones, bringing that knee back and bringing that other foot in front this time, holding that spade and popping that earth back on top, rocking back and forth. Then, on top of where he had dug, Regulus built a church. You can stand with your feet apart and your hands to your heart and take them above your head into a church pose. Over the centuries, now this means hundreds and hundreds of years, so let's do that clock again. Onto your bottoms, your legs crossed, taking your arms out wide and tick, tock, like a clock. Tick, tock, tick, tock. Over the centuries, St Andrew became very important to Scottish people. Let's go back into that patron saint pose, standing with our legs apart and our hands to our heart. Well done. Because of this, because he was so important to Scottish people, the cross, back into that X-shaped cross, legs wide, arms wide, and then lifting them up into a cross shape. Well done. That cross shape is now seen on the Scottish flag. Fantastic. Now we're going to come to lying on our backs, with our legs out straight and our arms by our sides, closing our eyes. St Andrew became the patron saint of Scotland thousands of years ago. And since then, every year on the 30th of November, St Andrew's Day is celebrated. In Scotland, St Andrew's Day is celebrated in many different ways. One being by celebrating with a ceilidh, where people get involved in Scottish country dancing. Now wiggle your things and wiggle your toes. Lift up your knees and give them a hug. Then roll onto your side and push yourselves up onto your bottoms, your legs crossed. Bringing your hands to your heart, and after 3 we'll say our yoga goodbye. Namaste. 1, 2, 3. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for Diamond Joke Stories today. See you again soon. Bye.